about NFTs, but before that, you got to have MetaMask. And MetaMask, you have to have some Ethereum, and I'm going to use a test net. I'm not using real Ethereum that costs money, although the process is the same for real Ethereum that costs money. But of course, in these projects, I don't want to do anything where students have to spend real money. So you start with Chrome, and this one here. So you go to Chrome, you install the MetaMask extension, and then you create a wallet, and then you have to get some Ethereum from the testnet. And people were having trouble getting Ethereum from the testnet. The faucets sometimes would cough it up, and sometimes they wouldn't. So I finally got my account working. So here's my Chrome. And as you can see, I have 3 Ether on the testnet. So if students need testnet Ethereum and they can't get it from the faucet, I now have some I can send you. I'll send you 0.1 or something, which should be enough. Because as you can see, I had exactly 3, and I only spent like less than 2% of, or something like 0.7% of an Ether doing everything I need to do. So a tenth of an Ether is enough to do everything we need to do here. So anyway, the first thing you have to do is get MetaMask running here and have some Ether on the Ropstein test network, which is just one of the running networks that doesn't cost any money, but lets you develop Ethereum projects, which is what we're doing. Lets you practice Ethereum techniques without having to spend money. So that's MetaMask and Ethereum. And then you can make an NFT. And I guess I'm not going to do it live. I'll just talk about it. I just finished doing it. All right. So the point of NFTs, of course, these are the non-fungible tokens, and this is what artists are real happy about right now. You can make a pile of money with these, although it's extremely crooked. It became popular because of an artist named Biddle that made something and sold it for $69 million, but as far as I can tell from reading the articles about it, he just made a deal with the person buying it to kick back the money, so it would look like they paid $69 million when they didn't really pay $69 million, and that would just make the price go up for other art. I don't know. But anyway, if you have a picture, you can then send a souvenir, which is a blockchain record that you are the official owner of that picture, but it doesn't mean you really own it in the sense that you can control copyright or get royalties or anything. In fact, it doesn't really mean anything at all. It's like there are people who will let you name a crater on the moon after you, and they will just publish a map somewhere with your name next to the crater, and it isn't official anywhere, and it doesn't mean a damn thing, and it doesn't mean you own that property or anything. It's just a record of your name somewhere, and you're paying for that. So the fact is, these things have no apparent value whatever, but it's all speculation. You buy them because the price is going up. So you buy it even though it's junk, and then you sell it to somebody else for a higher price, and then you made money. So until the music stops and everybody realizes, hey, this stuff is crap, like they did with tulip bulbs and all the other bubbles, you can make money. So anyway, here's how it works. And now I've went through all the steps to make it. So you make an image of some kind, and you can then make an NFT of that image. So you go to Pinata Crowd, which is a service that lets you make NFTs, and you can upload your image. And when you upload an image, you make a free account. When you upload an image to Pinata Cloud, it puts it in the, an amazing picture. Yeah, I know. I said you make something with, which is clearly worth $69 million. Yes, exactly right. Obviously, people should pay $69 million for that immortal picture. Anyway, so, isn't it amazing? Yeah. Anyway, so now you have this number, which is the, there you go. This is the Interplanetary File System number. There's this thing called the IPFS, which is like BitTorrent, but it's to store web pages and images, where they're stored and distributed all over the place. And Pinata is a portal into that system. So when you store something here, anybody can download it anywhere with a URL including this number. They call it a CID. So it's a way, you could also just put it on a website with your name, and that would work too. But the Pinata system lets it be distributed in a sort of peer-to-peer way. So that's the actual image. You're going to make a token. Then you have to have a JSON file describing it. And this is the format. It has a URL for the image, And since it's stored in the interplanetary file system, you have to go through an interplanetary file system portal. And there are various companies that provide them, and one of them is Cloudflare. That's what I use just because I know Cloudflare. They came up in my Google search as a portal. And then you put that number here, that long number, QMC8D, that number goes here. And that creates a URL. And you can open that URL in any browser. You go through a portal that moves you from the web into the interplanetary file system, and there's my glorious image, hosted on the interplanetary file system, visible through any of the several companies that provide portals into the interplanetary file system. All right, so that's the image. Then you have a description and a name and some other attributes I don't really understand that I just left at their default value. This is the text file that describes your image. And then you upload that to the same system. And now that text file, the JSON file, is also in the interplanetary file system, and it has its own CID. So now that can be loaded anywhere. Now you're ready to put it on the blockchain. What you've done now is just stored in the interplanetary file system, which is very much like just putting it on a web server. But to make the NFT, see, you have to have a record of it in the blockchain that can be owned by somebody, and they can pay Ether to sell it. That's the idea. So first you need, now according to the tutorial I read, you need to have not only Ethereum, but you also need this other token called Link. But by the way, left it in the project, but I don't think it's true, because if I go to my Chrome and I look here, I've spent some of my Ether, but I haven't spent any Link. So it said in the tutorial you would need this Link, but I don't seem to have spent any Link doing it. So I'm thinking maybe that's only needed for the advanced features. Anyway, Link just comes from a faucet. You go here, you put in your Ethereum address from your MetaMask, and you can request some Link, and then you have to get a request complete. Now, this will send Link tokens to your MetaMask client, but your MetaMask client will not understand what Link tokens are. You have to give it a token to know what the link is. So you have to add this number. This is the token contract address. You have to add tokens to your MetaMask so it knows what links are, and then you will have what I've got. You have Ethereum and Link in your balance. All right. Remember, and if you've done some of the other projects, you can make your own token on the Ethereum blockchain, but then nobody will understand it unless they know what address to find that token in. All right, so now you have to create an Infura account, which is where you get access to the developer tools we're going to use here. See, and again, it's a free account. You make an Infura account, and then you will be able to access the Ethereum network over HTTPS, which is what the software we're going to use is doing. So you have to create a project, and then you get a project ID and a secret, which I never found out what the secret is for. I didn't need to know it. All I needed was the project ID. And I'm only using fake Ether that's not worth anything, so I'm just exposing my secret here, which means that somebody could probably do something, but I'm only using fake free accounts for everything, so there's no real value in it. Okay, then you need to have a Linux machine. I use Debian 10. You install various software packages. And the main thing we're going to use is this thing called Brownie, which is some kind of Ethereum development product that I think runs through this website here in Infura. So once you get all that junk installed, then you have to close your browser and open a new one, or it won't update the path and you won't be able to run Brownie, which is what you need. So make sure you can run Brownie and see the help message. All right, and then now you have to make two environment variables. One of them is your project ID, which you got from Infura, so it knows where to go to access the blockchain. And the other one is, of course, your MetaMask private key, so it can spend Ether, because it costs some Ether to put something on the blockchain. That's the gas fee. So you can't get anything done without this project ID to reach the blockchain, and this private key that comes from your MetaMask to spend some of your Ether. So you export that into this variable called private key, and now you can deploy the contract. You use Git to copy some scripts from this guy, Patrick Alpha, who wrote some scripts to do this, and the tutorial I based this on. And then the first thing you do is just run deploy simple.py. This will deploy a contract that declares a simple NFT, which is just a record of that JSON file with an owner that can be sold for a price. It's a simple contract defining that process. And so you run that, and it now has deployed the contract someplace. So that's good, and it cost you some gas to do that. So, and that means your ether balance has gone down a little bit. Somewhere in the small change here, you lost a little bit of ether. So now, he wrote a script you can just run that will create a particular NFT from an image he provided called a pug. So if you just run this script called create collectible, that will create a pug. And it will tell you, awesome, you can view your NFT at this address. And if you go to that address, you will see the pug, which is his image. That's his default image. So what's going on is as everybody goes through this tutorial, they're making multiple NFTs selling the same pug, which certainly can happen, and it's one of the many insane things about NFTs. Since you don't actually own copyright, and the image you're getting is just on the internet, there can be 1 million copies of it, and in principle it can get sold 1 million times. And there are some image hosting websites for developers of art that will warn you when people are selling your image as an NFT so you can get mad and supposedly do something about it. Good luck with that. Anyway, now you can make a custom NFT. All you have to do to make the custom NFT is take this script called create collectible and copy it in the same folder with a different name and then edit it. So I made the name create my NFT, and all you have to do is change this number. So it points to your JSON file instead of the JSON file for that pug. That's all you have to do. So replace that number and then run that script, and it will create your NFT, and it will be up here on the blockchain, your glorious NFT, and people can actually go make offers, but this is all fake ether. So students could offer to buy your NFT and stuff with fake money, but you're not going to make a real $1 million with exactly this process. But at the OpenSea website, you can choose to use the real Ethereum blockchain, and then you will have to pay real money to put up your image, and you will only make money if somebody wants to buy it and pays more than the cost of putting it up, which, I guess that would have something to do with the quality of your art. It's hard to know. Of course, not everybody is talented enough to make art of this quality, so I don't know if any of you could really compete. But anyway, and then there's a flag you can find here. So anyway, that's the glorious NFT. You can make an NFT for extra credit if you like, and it may help understanding this latest madness in the cryptocurrency space. So, I'll stop that one.